Hi, everybody. Fancy seeing you all here. Um, welcome, guys. If you guys were new watching with the Hannah Reed stream, got a late start. Was busy doing practicing lawyer stuff today, so got a late start. We caught up. I was really surprised. That's coming down to the wire. Like I didn't think we were gonna get that done in time. Uh, so that was fun. That was fun. Um, so this is the Thursday night stream, guys. Welcome. I am potentially criminal, also known as Sean. I am an attorney in the Cleveland area. I obviously focus on criminal law. It's my potentially criminal, not potentially taxes. Although those can end up becoming criminal too, if you don't play your cards right. But we are here for the Thursday night stream. We do it every Thursday, rain or shine, 102 weeks in a row. Which episode 102. So, what? Oh, that's why I thought I heard beeping. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight, but that said, I try to wait a little while because we've got a lot of people filtering in. We have people coming in from the other stream, but also we try to give people about 10 minutes or so to come in. Why? Well, YouTube isn't always the best with notifications. Neither is Rumble, neither is Locals. In fact, everybody kind of sucks at it. Like, let's just be real about it. I mean, that's how it is. So we're going to wait. We're going to talk. We're going to hang out. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of fun things. This is going to be, sometimes I tell you guys we got some fun stuff to pad out the doomer stuff. It's actually not the case tonight. We've got a lot of funny things to talk about tonight. I think they're actually very hilarious. And there's like a little bit of like, yes, reality sucks at times, but this is a pretty good show tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I think you guys will enjoy it. In fact, there's so much goofy crap tonight. I don't think we're going to get it all done. We're probably going to have to do a stream tomorrow night. So we're going to do a tomorrow night show just because I think there's so much funny shit to do. In addition to tomorrow night, over the weekend, actually, you know what we'll do? So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to catch up on Hannah Reed late because I have court stuff in the morning. I got appointed to a juvenile delinquency case that they asked me to take care of if I could be there for it tomorrow, like right around noon. So I'm not gonna be able to do Eric Hunley. I'm not doing future conflicts tomorrow. Sorry if you're out there, Scott. My apologies. And I will probably not. And I have to meet a client. I got to meet a specific client out at the jail. One of my bigger clients. Probably I'd say my most important client. He's a good guy. I got to meet him in the afternoon. I probably be getting back hopefully around 3-4 o'clock. We'll fire up Hannah Reed, get going on that. We'll plow through it. We'll do that 1.75 times. Apparently, everywhere but me, they all speak slowly for some reason. We'll see what happens there. We've got Richard Allen stuff we've got to get through. There have been a lightning flurry of filings that have happened there. Judge Gull continues to act like a complete lunatic. So that'll be fun to cover. We also have Michelle Trakunis to get back through. The defense was going, or the state was about to rest. The defense was about to go. They didn't last very long either, from what I understand. So we're about reaching the end of the Michelle Trakunis saga after like 27 days, but oh well. Now, I did want to say, if you guys are out there, I want to say hello to everybody out there on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, still on Twitch, Kick, Rumble. And Rumble, guys, I had to wait a second for Rumble just because Rumble gets a little antsy in its pantsy when you try to do too many streams at once. So they don't let you do it all at once like that. So you can only start one stream at a time, which I think is absolute nonsense. Personally, that's just how I feel. So I'm trying to get that restarted. I also want to say hello to everybody on Locals. Guys, and if you don't know what Locals is basically Patreon, but you can do whatever you want there. There really aren't rules. Very mild TOS. They don't engage in censorship. They don't engage in harassment. and they allow you to be you. Um, so I thoroughly enjoy it there. We're at potentiallycriminal.locals.com, and we do all kinds of fun stuff there. We have a live chat that goes during the live show every week. You guys are allowed to be part of that. It doesn't cost you anything to become a member, so you can sign up, be in the live chat. It's a fun time. You can also be part of any of the things that get posted by myself or other members in the community. The one thing you do not get access to unless you become a supporter are the live shows themselves, and those live shows are a lot of fun. We do one every Monday. We do it at 8:30 ish, more like 8:45, almost 9 o'clock. We go for like 2 or 3 hours. Always a fun time. We do a show right after this one over on Locals. That is always a blast. It's a very fun time. We go for an indeterminate amount of time there. And then we also have been doing, as of late, kind of random streams out there, like impromptu things. Those are always fun. I kind of really want to make sure you guys are getting your money's worth over there. So I'm really trying to push that. The defense tomorrow is going to rest in Michelle Traconis, so that will be fun. But yes, we have the live chat up in Rumble right now, so I want to say hello to everybody out there. And then finally, let's see if freaking Rumble will quit being stupid, because this is getting ridiculous. Hold on here, because I can't believe it's fighting me this bad. And I know you guys really like Rumble, so I'm trying to get that up. Let me see here. Why is this not working? I don't know why. I don't know why it wanted to give me trouble, but I think we're set up here. Rumble's going to take a minute, guys. I will stall for a minute because I care about all you guys in the Rumble ghetto. You're good little boys. You have not done anything wrong to warrant this. Oh. Yes, I did want to comment. We do have a special show on Wednesday. Should be a lot of fun. I don't want to tip my hand about it too much, but it will be a lot of fun to talk about. I think you guys will enjoy it. So next Wednesday, the 28th, just keep your ears peeled. It'll probably be a little bit sudden when it happens. So we got to talk about, though, the important things like who got first so far. Well, first goes to Alpha Fox over here. Got first. Very good. Nico, right on time, got second. That's like you guys planned that. And Charles says, what's the prize for third? There's also some super chats we need to get through real quick here. Bad Weather Biker for $5 says, is it me or does Sean look like discount Orson Welles in his cartoon thumbnail? And then Unhung Hero says for $2, oh, I'm going to come. Don't come. Don't come. Although when you read the story about Trump and Letitia James, I don't know what the hell that was, chat. Sorry. Lawyer Unicron, let's go. I don't know what happened there. Letitia James didn't like that, so. Will the special show be when he announces me as the VP pick? First of all, lower your voice. I'm interviewing Vince McMahon. Oh my God, that would be so cool. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Yes. Hello, Sean. Okay. Make a Bobas for $9.99. Thank you. Saying, Hey, lawyer man, that Medicare said mean things. He didn't say mean things about me. He was just pointing out the obvious. Like, how do I know which one it is? Oh, it's the guy Nick yelled at. That's not him, Jim, being mean. That's just Jim. Like, I don't know. He's a fat guy. Like, he's not boogie fat. So what is he? Oh, he's the fat guy Nick yelled at. Like, that's a fair assessment of things. That's not like, don't get mad at Jim. Like, leave Cancer Man alone. I'm flattered. That's a hell of a way to get remembered. I mean, it kind of get felted if he says that in front of, the entire world, but I'll accept it. So, just saying, keep rocking the sector. Well, I'll rep it as long as I can. Panzer Dude says, would you like to see Mike Hawk? Not particularly. Kimbo says, I can't wait till the Daily Wire signs Sean. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. I'm sure I'm going to have Josh back on. No. Hopefully that's going to happen soon. I know Noel's been busy. I didn't want to push on him, but I'm going to ask if he's got time coming up, if he'd like to come on, because I definitely think there's a lot there to talk about. A lot's going on with the farms. If you guys haven't heard, the farms have a hell of a rabbi right now. Somebody kind of looking at, things are looking pretty good. One of the major enemies of the farms, path, is crashing and burning. Salad days, my friends. Salad days. Then I know some of you out there are going to be like, why would you call it salad days? When's the last time you've seen a salad? It's a term of art. Carrie says, we have a bet in chat about you promising to show your feet on the 28th. No, it's not that, but it's pretty. It's going to be pretty good, though. I'm going to show Pitts before Pippa. Ooh. That's a tempting idea. I bet I have hobbit feet. You have no idea. You have no idea. I know, and that's the thing. Jim knows who I am. That's more than most kids say. I know, that's the neat part about it. That's the neat part. Like I said, I'll take it. It's an aspirational salad. Okay, we got 273 people here. It is time to go. We are ready. So, hold on here. Did Rumble get going yet? Okay. Sorry, guys. The problem with Rumble, when you click everything to tell it to go, it takes this obnoxiously long time to give you the stream keys and all the stuff you need. Okay. So all our little rumblers out there, I want to help you guys out. So I have to put this together. So forgive me, indulge me one more second here. Don't ever let it be said I never cared about Rumble. People want to help. Tell Rumble I need to fix their streaming key thing because it's garbage and it doesn't work. How about that? That would be the OG thing to do. Just saying, if you want to help Rumble, that would be the way to go. And I need to get, now that it's up, I can actually get a chat out of it. So, all right, guys, it is time to get this started. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. First thing we're going to start off in is Joe Biden's dog. And I think this is rather hilarious. This is some pretty good stuff. Even though it's Joe Biden, it's his dog. So his dog gets a pass from me. And why does his dog get a pass? Well, Joe Biden's dog, Commander, has bitten at least 24 Secret Service agents. So, you know what? That dog hates feds. Like, the goodest of boys. The goodest of boys. No, bad dogs are just bad owners. No, I'm hoping that dog is no, the feds are getting attacked. Like, What's, it might be Joe Biden's dog and they might sue him, but they're also fed. So it's like Charlie Sheen's like, what's not to love? So his German Shepherd is said to live in Delaware with friends. They sent him out to the farm. Oh, I hope they really did send him out to a real farm. Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh, chat. I don't know if I like this. So a source close to the family said that they feel awful about the incidents, and they've apologized and taken flowers to some of them. So the incidents unfolded at the White House and the Biden family homes in Rehoboth Beach and Wilmington, Delaware. And like I said, if you guys don't know what Rehoboth Beach is very hoity-toity. It is a very nice place to go on the Delaware coast, and quite frankly, most of the Delaware coast is a very beautiful place to go if you want to go see the Atlantic seaboard. And it's not super populated. Like, it's not Jersey bad, and it's not like Maryland, like you go to an Ocean City or something like that bad. It's pretty quiet. It's also weird. It's like 3 counties long, and you're just like from one end to the other. So, Commander was also involved in a confrontation during their Thanksgiving vacations and a trip to Camp David. Dogs just running around attacking people in the woods. At least 10 times, the Secret Service agents had to get medical treatment. And I'm surprised if it's that bad. I'm assuming one of those had to be pretty bad. I'm surprised one of them didn't fucking kill the dog. I mean, they're feds, they're cops, so they like shooting dogs, but still, a dog's attacking me. I'd be really, like, if I couldn't shoot it or stab it, I'm surprised the dog didn't get really injured. I mean, that truly is a good thing that the dog didn't get hurt. So the dog arrived as a puppy in 2021 and struggled to adapt to the frenzy. They had a 3-year-old. Major was also sent away after he bit 2 people in a month. And then Champ, who's been at Biden's side since he was vice president, died at the age of 13. Aw. Imagine having Joe Biden as your owner. Like, he calls you like weird names. You're like, come on, Fido. Come on, Fido. Do what? Then he gets mad at you. He's like, the thing. And you're like, what do you want me to do? And then he shits on the floor, and then it's like, it gets blamed on you because Jill comes in and gets mad at him. And he's like, no. It wasn't me. It was the dog. So in October, the dog bit a White House member of staff. What is wrong with this damn dog? It's not part of the security team was playing with the dog. Okay, we got to see these pictures. Why is this? Why is the Daily Mail's website not loading? Did I break it? So that's weird. Oh, well. I don't know why. That was weird. Oh, well. Oh, wait. I did find the dog bite photos. Here we go. We're going to look at these. I want to see somebody on Biden's staff get bit by a dog. That's what they get for trying to destroy America. Dog's like, I hate your Ukraine policies. You're letting too many of my Mexican cousins across the border. No more chihuahuas. All right, here we go. Let's try to get this to switch over. Yes, a dog the feds won't actually shoot. Yes, it's a very important one. Yes, the dog is January 6th there. Yes, the dog is from... Yes. Very, very good. Very good observation, Nick. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Nick Starrow's Trial Watch, you definitely should. TV says he shared with the dog and his kids. God, I feel bad for that dog. That dog's got a lot of trauma. That dog must have a lot of trauma. Ugh. And, I mean, that would be the worst part about being with the Bidens. Come on, Sparky, it's time to shower. No, just imagine that. That would be so horrible. Let's see if we can get these pictures to load. Let's see a Democrat get attacked by a Democrat getting mauled by a dog. Sounds like a fun time. At least to me, it does. But that's okay because they're Democrats. They're not real people. Oh, there we go. Ears go down immediately. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. So it just happened in October, but oh yeah, there we go. Ah, there we go. Get him. Is that Hunter or a Secret Service agent? Because he's just walking along like he doesn't care. Like this dude, this guy right here on the right hand side of the picture, he's just like he don't give a shit what's going on. He's just like boop boop ba doop ba doop ba doop. Oh, the dog's biting somebody. That looks like fun. This guy's like, yay, it's diversity. Now I know how the people in the inner city feel. This is an enlightening experience as he's biting into my tendons. Ow, I say. Oh wow. Yeah, that doesn't look that's a good bite. That's a good mouthful, chat. That's a big old mouthful. Ooh. Yeah, that's funny. Well, if you ain't bitten by Commander, yeah. If you ain't bitten by a German Shepherd, you ain't black. That's what he did to Corn Pop. He sicked his dog on Corn Pop. Hmm. Could the Fed bring charges on the POTUS? You mean like he could probably sue, but I think there's going to be issues. I don't know if that would fall under the Federal Tort Claims Act. Like the feds have a Tort Claims Act that you have to. Sometimes you would need permission from the federal government to sue the federal government. I don't know if in their position they're allowed to. They may waive some rights as being part of the Secret Service that they might be under some sort of arbitration or some sort of things. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. That's kind of one of those like, like, cool. And we don't know. We just don't know. So, that is kind of where we are with it. Where the heck is? Where the heck is? Well, he's probably at least hitting me this time. Yeah, it's not a nip. If it's a nip, it's a nip, not a real bite. It might be a real bite. It might be enough. I don't know. Captain says GSDs will go for the hand. What does the guy have in his hand? Probably smells like a little kid, and the dog's like, gotta save it from you guys. Yeah, it would totally be a civil thing. Yeah, he wouldn't be able to like have Joe Biden arrested. That's certainly not going to happen anyway. They'd kill him before that could happen. Could it be workers' comp claim? Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm sure they paid him and just told him to shut up. So, yeah, dead air. Yes, thank you. Unknown Hero for $2 is the jokes on Biden. That dog descends are Border Patrol dogs. Um, Legally Live is a new member. Thank you, McKinley. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Mega Mobass for $4.99 says Medicare is a gem, and it makes me sad he has the cancer AIDS. I mean, he's only a humble hat merchant after all. Yeah, he is. Jim's a good man. He's a simple man. Squizguard for $2 says, "Isn't this kind of old news?" Well, I don't think totally we've known how many. That's the new thing. Like the total scope of what the dog did has finally been released through records requests. And Sweet Tooth Fairy's been a member for 10 months, is requesting another doggo to be brought on. Clyde. All right, well, we'll work on that. We'll try to get that in a second. Now, if you guys were keeping track what's going on with President Trump in his case out in New York City with the brilliant Judge Engeron, who said Trump owes like 300 or it's like $400 gazillion in money because he's a bad man. He's the bad man. He's the orange man. So Judge Engeron said that they owe that restitution to. So he owes that to the state of New York. Now, there is a thing that can happen from here. If he doesn't have the money for that, when you owe the government money, the government can take your crap. That is a very common thing the government will do. And why can they do it? Because they have more guns than you do. That's the reason why the government can do this. Typically, even in a civil setting, if you sue someone and you win money, can you just walk in and take all their shit? No, you can't. If it's a business, that's a little different. But for example, if Donald Duck sues Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck can't just walk in and take all. He can't take the Mickey Mouse clubhouse and just say it's mine. Get out. Mickey's like, but I live here. You know, it's like I don't want to live in the gutter and do heroin. That it doesn't just happen that way. For example, like O.J. Simpson, he moved all of his money to Florida, which has a really robust homesteading provision, where basically you can protect all your property. Some states have limits on what you can protect, things like that. But when it comes to businesses, you don't have a lot of those protections. A lot of it's up for grabs. So Letitia James is claiming she's going to start seizing assets to go after things. Why? So, Letitia James is prepared to seize assets if he doesn't pay the $355 million verdict. Now, Trump has the right to appeal it, but he's going to have to post a bond, which basically means he's got to post all the money to stay out of it. Okay. If he doesn't have to pay the funds, they'll seek judgment enforcement in mechanisms in court. Now, and that's what happens. If you don't, you get the right to, in civil court, it's a little different for private people. Like Donald Duck could put a lien on Mickey Mouse's clubhouse. And then Mickey Mouse gets to live in the house. When it comes time to sell it, either Mickey Mouse has to pay Donald off to get the lien lifted to sell the house, or Mickey sells the house and Donald gets his cut before Mickey gets what's left over out of the check. So that is a common way, but here the government can just take your stuff if you're a business, especially. Now James is confident she will succeed in an appeal, and she listed Trump's 40 Wall Street Tower by name as one of the assets that can be taken. And that's Trump Tower, the Trump Tower. We're prepared to make sure each judgment is paid to New Yorkers. And yes, I look at 40 Wall Street each and every day. So it's like she looked at that from the start and was going to seize it. Well, there's a bit of a problem there, Letitia. Our friend Ian Corzine, and I don't know if he thinks he's a friend, but I like to consider him a friend, friendo. I mean, just look at this. I mean, if he's not a friend, he follows you. He follows me, and I follow him. Like, I think we're friends. I think we're broskies. I don't know if Ian would sit there and help me take the funnel and help me pour in like a gallon of kerosene into a bag of fertilizer. But I think Ian would probably, sit there and drink a nice iced tea with me after we're done and just talk about things. But we did see, he brought this up, and I think this is very hilarious because I didn't know this yet, but she's going to have to she's got to work harder than she thought to get Trump Tower. So she says she wants it. Well, this is the funny part here. So the organizations that are, it's the defendants, Donald Trump, the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust, the Trump Organization Incorporated, Trump Organization LLC, DJT Holdings LLC, DJT Holdings Managing Member, Trump Endeavor 12 LLC, 401 North Wabash Venture LLC, Trump Old Post Office LLC, and 40 Wall Street LLC. Now, the Trump Tower is at 40 Wall Street, but we'll get to that. Are jointly and severally liable in the amount of $168 million. Okay. So they also talk about Trump, and down here they talk about a little bit more. There's another $126 million. They get to Trump, the Revocable Trust, the Trump Organization have another $60 million. Eric Trump is liable to the state of New York for $4 million. Donald Trump Jr. is liable for $4 million. And Alan Weisselberg, the attorney and all this stuff that things happen, he's liable for $1 million. There's a bit of an issue for Letitia here. There's a big mistake. And this is true. The NYC Department of Finance, 40 Wall Street, Trump Tower. Who owns it? The 40 Wall Street Holdings Corporation. For those of you keeping score at home, that's not 40 Wall Street LLC. That is an entirely different corporate entity. And guess who's not liable for anything on that order? Womp, womp, womp. So, what does this mean for our girl? Well, she's got a problem. Because this owns 40 Wall Street. This is the owner of 40 Wall Street. So you can't seize property that nobody owns. 40 Wall Street's a separate entity. That's like if you got the right to take over Bob's radios and transistors in the strip mall, and you walked over and tried to seize Planet of the Vapes next door. That's a different company. They are not liable. Bob's Incorporated is liable, so you have to go get Bob. Well, that's a problem. That's a big problem because they were never listed. Oh, people didn't do their homework. People got sloppy. That's what that is. So good job, Letitia. And, it's not listed there. It's not incorporated, so there's no jurisdiction over it. And he's right. Because if they're not listed in the order, you can't do anything to them. If you're going to do this, you have to seek relief from the order, but now you have to go back and say, well, we missed somebody. Well, who'd you miss? Whose fault is that? Who did this? Well, Your Honor, we did. And I think you run into a massive problem for your Letitia James, because now you have to be like, look, Judge, we fucked up. It's our fault. That's... I think that's a problem for her. Because how do you're going to have to now you're going to have to do you're going to have to do something about this, and your argument's going to be what? We messed up, like our bad, like like what are you going to do? I don't know. I don't know if they like have thought this through yet. Because what are you going to go to the court and say, like, we messed up, or like, how does that work? Your Honor, we forgot to include them. Why? Well, because we're idiots. And it's not as though this was a brand new corporation, something snuck out on you. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here. You're gonna have to say, like, we need relief from it because of our own stupidity. So that's not a good look for them. I don't know how they're gonna handle that. Um, so this should be very funny to see them bitch and moan. She's not gonna get her white whale after all. She really wanted it. She really wanted it. She wanted it so bad. She could taste it. And it's just not there. It's just not there. Sorry, girl. You know, you love to see it. You love to. It's the Trump curse. These people, oh, I'll show him. I'll show him, and they get shown up. I'm sure she'll try to make the judge punish them for that. So I'm sure she'll try to punish them for that. So we'll see what happens. What are you guys up to here? 200. They're all gonna go cry in their cry closet. Yes. I bet Trump knew about this from the start and kept his poker face the entire time. Sure, sure. I'm really thinking he'd probably win. Yes, Judge Engeron will say, it's okay. Yes, the state didn't. It's their fault. It's their fault. Hold on. Netflutter saying the gun on his shelf he made from Lego. Hold on here. We're talking about the gun on the shelf. Well, the one. Okay, so that one's an 80% Glock. That up there is a Lego tank, and then there is a gun over here that was made out of Legos. So, yes, I want to do over. Not fair. So yes, it's going to be very fun. Yes, he can't keep getting away with this. But yes, she'll use the tactic of mining underneath the tower to destroy it. Adam Wright says, do you think they knew they were from the beginning and all these court cases are just a way to zap his resources? Oh, no, they think, I'm sure they all thought that they're Captain Ahab. They thought they're going to kill the white whale. Well, the orange whale in this case. But yeah, they got that, they got that drunk off that ability to get that Cheeto dust. Like, they were ready. They wanted it. So they wanted it. They were totally ready. So that's not a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Should not be a surprise at all. So so it's a harmless error, no big deal. Yeah. Well, that just means more Elena Haba in the news. Yeah, so that makes it better. Yes. Oh, I know. That's so funny. That is so funny to think about it that way. Philip Kogan's for $5 though, saying dogs. Thank you, by the way. Saying dogs really bite the people that beat them, but they are aggressive with everyone else. Yeah. Swizzgars for $2 says someone said he may be able to do 10%. Maybe. I think, our good friend Joe, Good Logic, would probably know the answer to that because he did judgment collection and, collecting on judgments and things like that in the state of New York. So I'm sure he would know about that. He might actually be able to tell us. But he's not here, so I can't crank up the mind phone and, woo, 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 woo. Yeah. Number 4, put Joe on. It doesn't work that way. But I'll reach out to him and see if he knows the answer to that. So I do think it's very funny that that's going to happen. Yeah, like I said, guys, tonight overall is going to be a lot of funny things. And there's another funny thing before we get to like kind of the more serious topic tonight. Because we have some legal stuff to review, an actual document. The Law Channel, we're going to do some legal analysis. But real quick, since COVID happened, one of the nice things is, before COVID, attorneys all over the place said, why can't we use video hearings? Why can't we really utilize these? Well, thankfully, we've been able to do that. And courts have still embraced it. And they realize there's some utility to it. A lot of places have changed their minds and are now going back to in-person things, which, okay, whatever, I get it. But it's still not bad. You can just sit in front of your computer, do work, and have like hearing after hearing after hearing and knock stuff out. But there is a funny thing here. This is a court case where a guy's in the middle of his Zoom hearing, and he's at the hearing at the jail. So there's the judge, his attorney, and I think a prosecutor. And things don't go as planned. So here we go. You guys haven't seen this. This is an interesting thing. This is very interesting. So here we go. Oh, come on, don't buffer. I just literally had you load up, bro. Some days, internet. Some days, Elon. I will make you pay. One of these days. So this is what
jail right now.
So here we go.
Males. One of them.
If you guys look, so look, it's
one of them.
Your Honor, I don't.
It literally just starts. I wish we had more of the hearing, but you could see there's already some guys getting his ass whooped.
2 males. One of them.
Your Honor, I don't know what's going on in the jail right now. It looks like somebody just went and started beating up the defendant.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, where are the officers?
2 males. One of them.
Your Honor, I don't know what's going on in the jail right now.
I mean, that's got to be. I love how the judge is like, how dare they? They're being disorderly. Sean uses AT&T. Nope, I use Mint for I have a Mint phone running a hotspot. So the snitches get stitches. Yeah, the officers are taking bets. Yeah, no, I know the officers are probably on break, or they were paid off, or they just don't care. Yes. So is street justice? I don't know. Yeah, how do we teleport bailiffs? I hold you all in contempt. Stop it. It's like, oh yeah, there's nothing to do. Did they beat up the guards? Who knows? Yeah, I just doxed myself. The Andy's Mint internet. Andy's Mints are like the best. I'm sure you guys are like, of course the fat guy would say he likes Andy's Mints, but like Andy's Mints, like, oh my God, those are so fucking good. The officer's got a pack of smokes, yeah. Yes, them naughty boys, them rude boys. Yes, Crystal Heart, yes. I'm sure he's objecting to the ass whooping he's getting. Be like, Your Honor, I object to this whole line of questioning. I object to what's happening to my client right now, for the record. I might actually say something like that, just so it's known that I said something. I'm like, look, I tried to defend you, buddy. I said, Your Honor, can you ask these guys to stop it and knock it off? The name of some sources nothing to do with that, but someone under 87 years old shocks me. What, for Andy's Mints? Those are the greatest. What are you guys? Hold on. I'm trying to see what's not cool. Oh, yeah, never mind. Okay, sorry. The producers talking to me. Well, I guess he left the hearing given contempt. I know you know what the funny thing is? I've dealt with some prosecutors where they would say, Your Honor, he escaped. We're filing escape charges now. They would. I've also dealt with some prosecutors to be like, look, it's disorderly conduct for everybody. He was in a fight. He was getting attacked. Yeah, but that's still disorderly. You're not allowed to fight. The second guy came in the room, IQ doubled, but it's still under 150. Oof. Yeah. Your Honor, he's a flight risk. We were in court the last time and he left his hearing. I really could. There's like probably 2 or 3 prosecutors I've interacted with in my 10 years of doing it so far who would fucking say that. Oh. So I thought that, like I said, guys, I thought that was hilarious. Now, with that being said, we have some more serious news. The Fani Willis saga, and more like the Fani Willis debacle. So, Nathan Wade, if you guys remember, we had the Fani Willis hearings last week. There has not been a resolution yet. The judge is still working things out. In the meantime, Nathan Wade filed a motion. And it's an interesting motion. It's interesting what they're trying to argue here. And it's all about whether or not he's allowed to question his attorney, his former attorney, Terrence Bradley. And that's the black guy with that snow white beard who every time, it was, he got grilled. And he held a pretty good line for Nathan Wade. And then for some reason, Fani and the gang brought up all the sexual assault allegations against the guy. It literally blew up everything he was trying to do. So, yeah, I don't get why they did what they did, but they destroyed him. And then, if you guys also remember, at the end of that hearing, Judge McAfee brought up a very good point that I'm not sure, based on what this guy said, he understands what's privilege and not. Now, that's the polite way of saying he's used privilege so much that I think he's abused it and overused it. Remember, you can only protect statements that were made during the course of representation and made for the purposes of representation. So, in response to this, Nathan Wade filed a motion. And this was filed today. This was filed 8 a.m. In Superior Court of Fulton County in hot land on the state of Georgia. And it's all the different defendants. Trump, Giuliani, Eastman, Meadows, Cheesy Bro, Clark, Ellis, the cheese-eating rat. Michael Roman, this is the guy who he's the one, his attorney put forth all this stuff that lit it on fire last week. So Michael Roman's that guy. Although I don't see, oh yeah, there we go. Harrison William Prescott Floyd. That is a big name. So anyway, moving on, the special prosecutor Nathan Wade, by and through undersigned counsel, files his post-hearing brief concerning in-camera examination. And in-camera means with the judge by themselves. People don't come in. The judge makes an examination of that person by themselves. This is actually very common in juvenile court settings where the judge wants to know where a child wants to go and the child's of age. The judge will sometimes bring the child in by themselves and say, like, what do you want to see happen? And it's kept confidential. But it's for attorney Terrence Bradley by the court, and which they're claiming may unlawfully compel Bradley to disclose communications with Wade that were made. And the court has already determined are protected by attorney-client privilege. And that's not true because a bunch of those don't sound like they were, and the judge even said it's not clear anymore because there's been so much of a mess that the way these guys have attacked each other. They claim there's nothing under the law that authorizes the court to conduct the examination. And the court should compel disclosure anyway. It would vitiate one of the oldest and most fundamental privileges recognized at both common law and by statute. Yes, and the idea of attorney-client privilege is sacrosanct in English common law. It's well, Western, yes, but more importantly, English common law, because especially American attorneys, our confidentiality is massive. For example, I know in Mindset talked about this with the Niji Sanji stuff in Japan. There is no confidentiality like that. There are no protections like that. Canada has those protections, not to the same level, I would argue. Britain has those protections, not the same level, I would argue. It's unique to here, I'd say, how stout they exist. They do point out the defendants were allowed broad leeway to pry into the private life of Wade in an unprecedented and public manner. Well, what you did was unprecedented as well, man, and you did it in a public manner. Yes, the defendant sought to introduce intrusive and legally irrelevant personal details for the world to watch and unfold in real time, but still no credible evidence supports to exist their claims. They're tenuous claims. I think there's a lot there, man. Now, they keep banging the drum that, yes, attorney-client privilege is the most sacred of all legally recognized privileges. Yes. The preservation is essential to the just and orderly operation of our system. But I love this part here. This is bolded and underlined on its own. This gets into like Russell Greer and like lolcow territory. The court should not conduct the examination under any circumstance. It's like bolding it and underlining it. Okay. So the communications at issue between Wade and Bradley were made during the course of and in relation to Bradley's representation of Wade must be protected from disclosure. Any disclosure of the court to the contrary would fly in the face of the long recognized policy. And it's meant to encourage communication between you and your attorney so they can actually work and help you. Because if you know it's protected, you'll tell them what's necessary, and then your attorney can go out and get the job done. Now, the arguments for this, it's in Upjohn is true. It talks about attorney-client privilege. And the issue here for Wade is this. The record clearly shows that, number one, the relationship was formed when Wade hired Terrence Bradley to represent him as a divorce in 2015. I thought the divorce didn't happen until 2017 they started getting ready. I don't recall 2015 ever coming up in anybody's statements. But here's the other issue, though. As the person asserting privilege, the burden is on you. So let me explain this. When you assert privilege, the burden's on you to establish where the privilege is. You can't just say, oh, it's all privilege. You can't just like blanket it. You're not like the CIA when you're like redacting everything on a document. You can't just take a whole page and like black it out and you're like, good enough. No, it doesn't work that way for us common people. If you have privilege and you want to assert it, you have to assert it in such a way that you can identify certain things at certain times. Yes, conversations made on this date were attorney-client privilege. Now, generally speaking, when you're talking to your attorney at all, most of the things you're going to say are probably attorney-client privilege because you're not going to waste time doing this and talking to a guy who's billing you by the hour just to bullshit with him. But there might be times where these two guys did. I mean, remember, they were they're friends. Amos Curtsy says, heading over to Snipers. I'll chat later. Yeah, I'll see you, man. Goalie says, if you try listing all your work emails with an attorney-client privilege marker, they'll just call your emails fair game. Yes. You actually have to go through and check privilege. So this idea that it goes all the way back to that far, I'm like, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's going to work because I think he's got a bit of a problem there. Now, what does this mean for him? Well, there's other parts of the attorney-client privilege we need to address. So the other factors are the attorney-client relationship existed at least until late 2022, and the attorney-client privilege continues through today, and that's true. And I know we talked about this before, and somebody brought it up. Death does not sever the attorney-client privilege because your estate still owns that privilege and has the waiver for it. So, for example, if you have grandparents and they had an attorney and they did estate planning with, once they die, that privilege for that waiver for attorney-client privilege is then extended to whoever takes over your grandparents' estate. So if you're the executor, guess what? You have attorney-client privilege, unless they specifically delegated that power to another party, because you can do it a lot of ways if you want when you die. But whoever's in charge of your estate is in charge of that waiver, if they so wish to grant it. And then 3, the attorney-client relationship was in the context of Wade's divorce proceeding. Well, Wade's going to have to prove that. And you can't just say, well, it was. Any alleged communications made by Wade to Bradley concerning any alleged personal relationships would have been made in confidence. It would have been directly related to the matter. Would have been made in confidence. Okay, maybe. And would have been made directly related to the matter in which they were representing. But how do you know? Like, all conversations about personal relationships? All of them? Once again, you can't just blanket with that. You can't carpet bomb to protect yourself. And number 5, Wade has never waived attorney-client privilege. As he's never waived. Okay, as it relates to any statements made by Bradley in the course of representation. This is. Yeah, this is a bit different here. And then they point out that the judge says that that attorney-client privilege or attorney-client relationship did exist at some point. Well, the thing I would double back with is just because there's a relationship doesn't mean there's privilege. Because as the judge also said, I don't think this guy asserted privilege correctly. So I have problems with that. So that is, I think, the big problem for them. Like, what do we do? So why is this not working? Okay. Come on, switch back. So hold on, guys. Why is this like? So why is this? Okay. So the court's own findings were reinforced as many as 11 objections on attorney-client privilege grounds, and sua sponte prohibited defense counsel from evading the attorney-client privilege 3 additional times. Yes, but by the end, I think the judge realized this wasn't correct. Although it is funny they talk about they use the YouTube sightings and they did timestamps for all the things. You notice the ad happened a lot, but as we got to the end, the judge said, I think there's problems here. So, yeah, it's got to be within the course of representation related to the subject of the representation. But like I said, I don't think that they did a good job of protecting themselves, but we'll see what the judge orders. He might not order anything. I'm not sure what he'll do. Bradley testified that he has no relevant personal knowledge, and he sought advice of both counsel and the state bar on Georgia attorney-client privilege afforded prior to his testimony. Well, I'm not going to lie. If I was in his shoes, I'd be seeking the advice of counsel. I get an ethicist opinion, an attorney who specializes in ethics about that. And I would go to my state bar association. I would inquire with them, but I would also inquire with my the Office of Disciplinary Counsel for the Supreme Court of Ohio and say, hey, you have a hotline you can call and say, hey, look, I got a question. And, I've called them before because I'm like, hey, is this an issue, do you think? And you say, hypothetically, blah, 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 blah. They're like, well, hypothetically, based on what you're telling me, yeah, that might be an issue. And they're like, I wouldn't recommend that, or definitely don't do that. Or they may say, yeah, it's okay. They're like, don't worry. They can say all those different things. But the idea that he went out and double checked, that just means he's making sure he's not screwing up. So I'm not sure. I don't see why, retaining experienced counsel to represent him is an important issue. But we saw the attorney that was standing there off to the side every time, Bibel Chopra, is the one who was there arguing on behalf of Bradley to protect him in practice for 29 years. And Bradley's been licensed to practice for 17. Both have spent their practices primarily representing clients that are well-versed in the boundaries of attorney-client privilege. Yeah, but attorneys fuck it up all the time, so how well-versed are you? Now, they point out that he testified that they sought advice from the state bar to ensure they wouldn't improperly disclose this stuff. And that shows that he understands which communications are not privileged, and the record shows that he took affirmative steps to protect both his former clients' confidential communications and his own oath to uphold the Georgia rules of professional conduct. Yes, but also remember the judge said, I don't think he asserted privilege properly. So if he didn't assert privilege properly, then a lot of this could be fair game. Now, the one thing that they do have going in their benefit, because Terrence Bradley did admit to this, when it came to all the issues regarding Wade and Fani, I was not there. I don't have personal knowledge of this matter. Well, that's a big deal. Now, the judge asked him if his lack of personal knowledge included anything he may have seen or heard outside of communications with Wade. He unequivocally answered, that's correct. He then said no third parties ever were present during his communications. That would have severed it. And that's true. So, for example, if you have an attorney and he comes to your house to talk to you about something, and it's just you that's having a lawsuit, you're the one suing a party. If your wife or your husband's sitting there, guess what happens? They're now a witness, and you've lost confidentiality because technically a third party heard it and responded to it. So, just something to think about. So, they do get further on. They point out, and they cherry pick Judge McAfee quite heavily. He says, I think it was quite clear, explicit that Mr. Wade never waived anything regarding communications between him and Mr. Bradley. He was willing to discuss the subject matter, but he was never willing to get into communications that occurred between him and Mr. Bradley. And that's a good lawyer. Like, I'll talk to you about the subject, but I'm not going to dig into it. So they claim that the Georgia Supreme Court has prohibited in-camera disclosure of privileged communications. I don't see how that's going to work here for him, but he's welcome to try. So, and also you see here where they talk about the psychiatrist patient privilege, and that's just because they're trying to show you that these are some very broad statutes, and some of that's protected in the psychiatry code, that you can get help. So let's see here. Where are we? So they go on to cite a bunch of Georgia cases here. Let me see. Where are we at here? Hold on, guys. They do point out that even if it's a limited forming camera should not become the general exception to the rule of confidentiality. They're saying, look, even though it's going to be in the judge's chambers, it's going to be protected. No one will ever hear it. Wrong. It's still wrong. And to be fair, if that's the case, yes, it's wrong no matter what's happening. They said even the court were to seal a record of a compelled in-camera disclosure of attorney-client privilege communications, sealing is not an appropriate remedy. They're saying first, the court can't seal a record without a hearing. I'm pretty sure that, I mean, you can seal some. The court can seal a court record without a hearing, though. I mean, why can't I have a record on sealing it? Because normally you file like a motion to seal documents before you get to the post office. Why would I have to take time off? Unless it's like something, like why would I have to do that? Like, I need to have a hearing, but I got to take the time out to have the hearing. It's all about fear and control with Fani, yeah. But I'm just... Alpha Fox is correct. This also presumes Wade was forthcoming. And remember, the judge going back through all this says, like, but how do you know? He doesn't know who's telling the truth right now. So... And Justin says those ethics conversations aren't always privileged in some jurisdictions. True, but as the rules of confidentiality show, your discussions to try to comply with the rules generally are. But yeah, I'd say you need a... It's not like white privilege. Yeah. So I'm still just trying to figure out... Stay on mic. Did I move? What? I don't get it. Is Lofty in the chat? I'm trying to think this one through here, guys. Because I read this part earlier. And, court can't seal a record without a hearing. That's not true, because you can file things under seal. And you can do it all the time. You don't need court hearings. I have clients, we have to file medical documents for furloughs, things like that. You file it under seal. You ask for leave to file under seal, the court grants it. Boom, filed under seal. There's no hearing over that. Even then, they're saying a separate hearing would be required. Maybe under Georgia law. I don't know. J-Rock might answer that. Second, even if it's sealed, the privileged communication remain in the public record perpetually. This court sealing, I mean, that's true. This court sealing order could be appealed by any member of the public, and there's a grave risk the privileged communications may someday be released. Well, oh well. Finally, even if sealed, the compelled disclosure of attorney-client privileged communications remains unlawful for all the reasons said above. Attorney-client privilege is among the most sacred of all legally recognized privileges, so much it survives a client's death. And the court must take every possible precaution to preserve it. So, the court has already determined that all the alleged communications in question are protected by attorney-client privilege. That is a very big misstatement of the law. Or a very misstatement of the facts here. The judge did not make that determination. So, this attorney down here, Andrew Evans, I don't think that's a correct statement of what occurred there. So, I get you making your arguments, but that's kind of bordering on bullshit. So, I'm just saying. So, that is where we are with that, guys. I don't think this is... because the other thing is, too, ultimately, he has to interview Bradley, because if he doesn't, then how does he know what was said? You can't just go, oh, trust me, it's all privilege, bro. And the judge goes, well, that's a hell of an argument. Nathan, you win. Like, that's not how this works. So, no, that's not going to work at all. This motion doesn't make much sense. And he hasn't specifically proven anything. So the specificity. Remember, guys, specificity is key. Gotta clean up there as we're going. The parties are deaf as it's still a hearing. Oh, J-Rock says the court can't unilaterally seal without a hearing. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Actually, you know what? I bet no. I wonder if. Well, hold on. Well, how can you seal those hearings? I've never had a court unilaterally seal shit on its own, though. So, I mean, because normally you're like a juvenile court, things like that, and those are already protected records. You can't just go run around dropping them. So, Shri says, I thought it was the lady Fani fired. Balder Alla Richard says, you need a hearing here. You don't need a hearing here. Huh. Maybe the term means something different there. Yeah, it might be. That's the other thing too. But yeah, but I don't know. I trust J-Rock when he's telling me what's up. Upon motion, any civil action upon the court's motion after hearing, the court may limit access to court files. So wait, J-Rock, I'm just making sure I understand this right. So in Georgia, even if I file as a defense, we have to have a hearing? Or is it saying only because the way those commas are broken up, or upon court comma, or upon court action, USCR 21. Huh. Okay, let me unified 21 Georgia. Okay. So uniform rules of court. Okay. Limitation of access. All right, let me see here. Let's see what this is. We're going to do some legal stuff, chat. Legal stuff. Because we're doing the law show. We're doing the lawyer shit here, guys. I'm looking this up. Okay, all court records are Okay, well, Rule 21. Okay, there's got to be like, what's the next part of Rule 21? Okay, motions and orders. Okay. Is there any comment to this? Okay. So upon motion by any party, civil action, or upon the court's own motion after hearing, and that's where I'm confused, because when you break this down, is it or upon the court's motion, and is the after hearing only apply to this part, or does it apply to this whole part too? That's what I'm trying to ask, if that makes any sense. Is all of this after a hearing, or is the first part its own standing thing? $21.1. Yeah, no, we got it. I was told there wouldn't be any math. This is not a legal channel. It never was. I know. Shri says, I thought the lady Fani fired was the person that reported the affair. No, it sounds like Wade's attorney kind of dropped a dime to Ashley Merchant a little bit. Look up 21.6. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, we got time. Hold on. Did anybody leave, or we got people? 348 people still here. You guys are wanting to learn, so let's learn, chat. More. Yes. Okay. Redaction of protected identifiers of filings under seal. Okay. Protected identifiers, yada, yada, yada. Protected identifiers of family violence, stalking, protective orders. Well, that's a mouthful. Protected identifiers, okay. Yeah, court should utilize protected identifiers necessary to the process, protective order. Then seal the protected identifiers page in the case file while further of the court. Okay. Sealing of filings without. Okay. Any party seeking to make a filing under seal without redaction shall first file a redacted version of the filing with the clerk for the public record and then submit the request for filing under seal directly to the court. along with a copy of the filing without redaction and a proposed order to file under seal. Huh. Okay. Says nothing about the hearing, though. Sealings of filings containing personal and confidential information. Any party seeking to make a filing under seal which contains additional personal and confidential other than protected identifiers shall first file a redacted version with the clerk of court for the record, then submit a request for filing seal directly to the court, along with a copy of the redaction proposed order file or seal. Okay. All right. No, that's interesting. So. Let's see here. Okay, so that, yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. I assume if his attorney's saying shit, it's not clear because Nathan lies. I'm assuming his lawyer's lying. Lawyers probably can't even into and or and not. Well, that's not 100% clear. So there might be an argument. Yeah, statutory construction, yay. That's how we do without a hearing. Filing, that is, hearing is later. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense then. Thank you. That makes sense. Balder saying, not sure how to interpret 21.6. Okay, I mean, that's how, like, we would do it here. I'd file. Well, I always ask for leave to file. Ask for leave to file under seal. In that motion, I propose what I'm trying to file under seal. And then, yeah. It's not a Tisset channel, not a legal one. Yeah. Putting that JDUs together. I love statutory construction. Yeah. This is what we do, guys. When you're lawyers, you're like, well, actually, what does this mean? See? It doesn't say what you think it says. And you try to make that argument in court and see what happens. Well, Honor, actually. So, Runkle has 2.6. Oh, good for him. Yes, nerds. Yeah, well, it's what nerds do. Nerds do nerdy stuff. Yes, this is not a train enthusiast channel. I am so sorry. And as much as I want to tell all of you out there in Kiwi Farms that I'm not a foamer, that will only make it worse. So I guess I'm stuck with it for now. Yeah, so a little frustrating, but I got to deal with it. Oh, yes, apparently somebody thinks it's fucking hilarious. Like I've said before, I've built my own hell. How many people can say that? 2,000 people mistook that Runkle for Danny on. Oh, it'd be funny if I used that accent in court. I'd get held in contempt, probably. That would be so cringe. That would be so bad. Plane's bad, train's good. No, plane's good. Planes are always good. Oh, and you're saying record isn't fully removed like it would be if allowed here either. Context of sealing matters. Fair enough, too. Yeah. Everything's a little different. Actually, well, actually, hold on, gotta do it right. Actually, Isaac Bruce wholesome Gabagool art for $2. Sean only foams a train derailment, as we've seen. That's correct. That's correct. If you guys don't know, we've talked about all kinds of great things on here, especially like how much rail you have to remove to actually derail a train. A lot more than you'd think. So, go back and you can watch it, or you can Google OSS 1944 train derailment video. It's my cross to bear. Adam goons everything. Ugh. Okay, well, we're gonna keep moving, guys. We're gonna keep moving here. Getting back to the kind of getting back to oh god. So Mega Mobas for $9.99. Thank you. Is saying this Fani stuff seems like a double-edged sword. I made the same point to Viva. Is it worse to DQ Fani and deal with a much more competent AG, or pass and deal with incompetent Fani? And see, here's the thing. I brought that up too when I was on with Eric Hunley. We did the laid back law on Friday. That's a concern I have, because let's say we win. Let's say Trump wins. Now the attorney general or some other county prosecutor, because a different one could be picked. And there's going to be some really good ones out there who aren't going to hire their boyfriend or their girlfriend and pay them shitloads of money and then go around the world humping on that money. Now, because like, as much as I love Robert Barnes, this idea of like, oh, well, if they point to anybody else, they'll just go, nope, we're not doing it. Like, I know, Robert. I'm sorry, I can't talk like you. I can't get my voice to do it that way. But the amount of John Roberts types out there who are just gonna completely cuck, I don't see that happening. Where you'd have to get the right county, and the judge would have to go get the right DA to go like, nope, not doing it. Have a good one, guys. We'd like to withdraw the pleas that we offered earlier. I don't see that happening. I mean, I could see the prosecutor maybe like kind of like laying down, taking a dive a little bit, but I mean, think about it. Like you know, half of the never Trumpers out there, like how many regular Republicans might go after Trump? I mean, God forbid you get like some like guy who's like 1/30th Ukrainian who lives in Georgia and is like, you defile my salami Ukraine land, I shall punish you, Putin lover. Like that's all it takes. That's all it takes. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen there, but overall, I think it would be very good to get rid of Fani. I mean, it would be devastating. It would be a massive embarrassment on top of all. And to quote the great Ethan Ralph, it would be sad and pathetic. It would be really bad. It would be very bad. So, I don't think it would be helpful to what they want to do. And I think it would further weaken the cases that are out there. So, yeah, locals, guys, it looks like locals kind of working. I'm sorry if it's not working too perfectly yet. And then, is Rumble, yeah, so yes, no breaks in the statutory train. Yeah, you guys are doing okay over there in Rumble. Hi, Rocco's Life. This was one of my favorite cartoons as a kid, Rocco's Modern Life. No, I was not muted. Thank you. Linwood sabotaged Georgia elections. Linwood caused a lot of problems I don't think we fully understand. That guy's a complete lunatic. J-Rock says, I doubt any of the good ones would take the case. Quite frankly, it's a minefield. I agree, it's a minefield. But there's stupid people everywhere. I mean, there's going to be some moron prosecutor. You never know. So, but I agree that the whole thing's a mess. It's let it die is the best thing, but who knows what they'll do. Yes, remember Stacey Abrams almost won in Georgia. Yes, she did. Where are we? What are we? Hold on here. What are we? Not legal advice, but if you need clearance, you can get a governor and even presidential waivers for almost anything you did. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're talking about because I didn't see what we're. But yeah, I mean, generally most things can be worked around with paperwork. That's the neat part about paperwork. It can fix a lot of problems. Isaac says sometimes I forget Sean's my age. Oh, okay. KRM says Brian Kemp could end this if he wasn't a coward. Well, he can't pardon anybody. Georgia has a pardons board. So they're the ones in charge of it. He can't do it. He's got a very limited power in that regard. If that's what you're thinking. That's what you're thinking. So I went on Telegram saying Pence was a child molester. I've probably said that more than one place after I've been drinking, so. All right, let's keep going here. This one I thought this is interesting. It's not interesting in the sense that a police officer did something wrong. That's not the funny part. Police officer breaks the law, like, shocker. But an Alabama police officer was making swatting calls while he was on duty. I don't get how that worked. So this guy, Chris Sansbury, he's 23, so he's like a real Zoomer. Was making false swatting reports while he's at work. Like, how does that? Do you like? I don't know how you do that. Does he just make a? I'm curious to see how he did it ultimately, because that would be very funny. The ultimate way how he did that. So, he would call 911 and falsely report incidents, also known as swattings. But like he would just pick random places, or like was he doing it just to like show up and be the hero? Because we have cases of like volunteer firefighters and firemen. So professional units and volunteer units, like they go light fires and then they get to go put them out and they get to be heroes and stuff. So I just, yeah, it's very interesting. So he said that he saw people walking around with a blood trail and somebody running around with a machete and people laying in the street. Jesus. I can't believe he got away with it for as long as he did. And he did it because he thought it was funny. That's his excuse. Sir, why did you do all these fake swattings? Because it's weird. It's so funny. Ha! I just think it's so funny and so weird. Yeah, it's weird. This is a very unique situation that occurred. What a psychopath. Yeah. Sorry about the grammar. Long day today. No, it's all good, man. Balder says, why is it started to become a firefighter? Laws and regulations exist because of people like that. Yes. I gotta go poop, and he does the call in the shower. They're saying this is not a CI issue. Guess it's an internal affairs. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that'd be funny because that probably is a Garrity. I wonder if that was his. Those things are protected under Garrity. Because I know we talked about this before. Cops kind of get special protections. You don't. Have I seen the video of the sergeant slamming his drunk police chief on the hood? No. That'd be interesting. Send me the link to that. That's a shame since the calls come. It's coming from inside the house. Run! Yes, he's smart as an average cop. Balder says, you of all people fighting to not cuss in chat. So where you? Yes, Your Honor, my client, we seek to dismiss. Under what grounds? Your Honor, we like to cite the age-old case of Lamau versus Bruh. You may have heard of it, Judge. The judge's gonna be like, "Oh no, I'm stuck. It's too powerful of a case." You're like, "Motion to dismiss granted." The one cop was like, "Nope." Yeah, that's funny. Apparently, they don't do psyche valves. Well, who knows how they did it? Who knows what happened there? You know, you can fake your way through those too if you're like somewhat stable. J-Bet saying, seriously, most of that generation are social media created psychos. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the like I said, the problem with the swatting is he could have got people killed. And that part, I think we all agree, is bullshit and he should be hammered for it. I'm just surprised that cops doing it. That is just such a that's a moment. Especially while he's on duty. He's sitting in a police car. Boop, 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 boop. You know, he's sitting in a squad. Just boop. Yeah, hey, 911. I'm over here on Donoville Drive, and I'm watching, like a bunch of guys with a mask on, and they got machetes, and they're just like chopping at each other. You better come quick. Like, boop. And what's he just sit in his police car and he's like, now we wait. The radio comes on, and he gets to show up and save the day. He's abusing his position of public trust. Fuck this tool. Yeah, well, I'm sure he's only going to get a little bit of a rough sentence. I'm not sure he goes to prison on this. And Zero Fuck says, if you're not stable on the police psychoval, you don't need to fake it. Yes, given how we see some cops reacting, it seems like it doesn't matter how you did. It's like you can't fail. It's Trenton saying, how long till two people change their last names to Lamau and Bruh? That would be awesome. That would be totally cool. Yes, and Isaac says, Your Honor, I'd like to call Gamergate to the stand. Yes, Your Honor, the whole scandal. Okay, so other news that's out there. Our friend, Matthew Harris, of Unbreaded fame, Unbreaded, and the author of the mega hit Death Notices, was, if you guys remember, he disappeared from his apartment in Colorado. Was like he was going to come to UCLA and kill everybody. Well, he got arrested before that happened, and he's in federal court. So, he's still stuck in Denver court at the end of the month, and I'm sorry, this is old, but I didn't see this till right away. But it's that's a 2023. Shit, I fucked this up. Damn it, I just fucking boomered that. Fuck that, never mind. 2023, that's brilliant. Brilliant work, Sean. Fuck. Nick was watchable. Seems like a long time ago. Yeah. Oh. Balder saying the sad part is all the cases here in Colorado that never get to see. Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand. There, yeah, well. That was bad. Hold on here. We're gonna cheat. I'm gonna go into Pacer and check. We're gonna check chat. Matthew Harris. Okay, let's see here. Oh, he did have a filing. Look, a filing was filed today. Okay. Okay, yeah, it looks like he's actually still like being evaluated, guys. Letter from the Bureau of Prisons. Okay, yeah, he's still yeah, guys, it looks like he's here, we'll bring it up. We'll let you guys read this along with me here because he's still going. Because this is interesting. So this is Matthew Harris's case. Because he's got the threats to interstate commerce, false statements of firearm dealer, and possessing ammunition. So this is all what's going on here, and his case is still going as of today. A restricted document was filed. There's a letter from the Bureau of Prisons from November. Let's see what this says. Okay, so the above individuals admitted to the Federal Medical Center in Devens, Massachusetts, pursuant to yeah, he's still in the nut hut, basically getting mentally evaluated. Okay. So yeah, his stuff is still going. So yeah, there's your Matthew Harris update. Still unbreaded. Touchdown. Unbreaded. Godspeed, Matthew. Hope you keep writing us. Is he writing a sequel? Maybe not. Justin Hancock says, what about Afro Man? So Afro Man, I covered him a little while back. I covered him last week, actually. His case is kind of up in the air. He's got a new attorney, and his new attorney's trying to get some things straightened out, but a couple of Afro Man's complaints or his allegations are still being allowed to go forward under issues of defamation. So there's a little bit of the case that survived, but not all of it. Basically, the first two claims died a horrible death. But the judge is allowing the other three open for now for discovery. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. The restricted doc is the shrink's updated report. Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Which is going to be bad. Which I'm sure is not. I'm sure it's, holy cow, this guy has lost his goddamn mind. Because that's very likely what it is. Imagine having to hang out with him and give him his mental evaluation, though. That would be something. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. I'll just double check. There hasn't been anything since last week when we checked. For Afro Man. Yeah, there's been no update since we did it last week. So I did an update on Afro Man. If you guys want to go back and read it, I did a whole thing on that. So yeah, Afro Man, some dumb stuff on social media. His music video is fine. Yeah. Matthew Harris is the unbreaded guy. He wrote the thing that manifesto Nick would rant out of. That's a shame, since I'd be too distracted to interview to evaluate him by becoming besties. Alpha Fox would be great. Like you were like, you're Dr. Alpha Fox. He tells you everything. You're like, look, Matt, look. I agree. But you can't say these things out loud, man. Yeah, go look after stream. Yeah, sorry, Justin, but I do have it. Basically, yeah, like I said, part of it's going forward for now, but I think the judge admits it's kind of shaky to keep going. So he was at UCLA, but he did all the stuff in Colorado. Was gonna come to California, but they stopped him. So yeah, where are we? Okay, so we've got 2 more things to wrap up with, and I think these are fun. This is something, as much as I like to think it's going to happen, I don't think you'd love to see it, is the idea that Missouri would allow their senators to challenge each other to a duel. I mean, nothing would be better than politicians offing each other, because what's not to love? But this is, they were trying to do this. They're trying to set up a rule to allow that. But a member of the Missouri Senate has proposed a rule change that, if passed, would allow them to duel each other. And he put a motion together to adopt a rule allowing state politicians to settle grievances through physicality. Well, what does physicality mean, though? Like, are you going to be allowed to just, like, are we talking about pistols at dawn? Because that's physical. Or are you talking about, like, a sword fight? Or just, like some old fisticuffs? Like, what are we doing? His amendment was proposed on Twitter, and it says, if a senator's honor is impugned by any other senator to the point it is beyond repair in order or offended senator to gain satisfaction, you have the right to demand satisfaction. You always have the right to demand satisfaction, especially when you can't get no satisfaction. See what I did there? Such senator may rectify the perceived insult to the senator's honor by challenging the offending senator to a duel. Slap them with the glove. Pick your second, and I will see you on the field. I wonder how that are they going. Does that talk about how you get seconds here? The trusted representative, known as the second of the offended senator, shall send a written challenge to the offending senator. The 2 senators shall agree to the terms of the duel, including the choice of weapons, which shall be witnessed and enforced by the respective seconds. The duel shall take place in the well of the Senate at the hour of high noon on the date agreed to by the parties to the duel. Oh, so they're going to fight at work. That's awesome. The well of the Senate. That would be fucking awesome. So the chief of staff of this guy's like, he's really deeply committed to restoring a sense of honor to the Senate. And while the duel may have been suggested in a metaphorical sense, I love that. He's like, I'm just trying to make people think. And I really want the rest of the Senate to go, you know what? This is a good fucking idea. Because I'm sure a lot of people are going to challenge him and want to beat his ass or kill him. It's like, I challenge you to swords. It's like, I challenge you to baseball bats at dawn. It's like you challenge somebody, what are your terms of the duel? 2x4s with a nail through it. And it's basically because he wants a way to address the priority legislation that's being locked down because of old grudges and the gridlock of government. That's a good thing. It's a good thing the government can't get shit done. It warms my heart. That would be funny, though, and I wonder how that would work under Missouri law, because I'm betting under Missouri law this would be illegal, but who knows? That'll be very interesting to see how they handle this. I'd finally watch C-SPAN. I know, that'd be great. It'd be great to get our senators and congressmen back to fighting in the halls of Congress, just beating each other with canes till somebody's almost like in a stroke-like state. I know, see, that's the thing. This guy's like, I just want us to be serious about things, when everybody else is like, oh my God, do it, do it, do it, do it. That's the funny thing. He's like, I just wanted people to talk, and everybody's out in the hall of the Senate engaged in a big knife fight. He's like, I just was trying to make everybody think. Oh. Yes. Puerto Rico could give them tips. Yes. You're not seriously supporting it, by the way, but it would get people to pay attention. Yeah, but it would work. The competitive anal sex. That would be... J-Bet says, "Do they demand satisfaction like on Sunny?" There's actually there's a code for dueling, and you are supposed to seek satisfaction. I demand satisfaction. I demand satisfaction. You've insulted my honor. You've insulted my family's honor or my wife's honor, and I demand satisfaction from that. And you can either apologize, or we can have the duel. You know, that's where also the concept of throwing down the gauntlet. Well, your gauntlets were, gloves, hand protection. You throw it down. Yes, make dueling great again. Yes. Yeah, see, Lauren Boebert engaged in. See, I like Lauren Boebert versus like Eric Swalwell or AOC. Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny. All for the duels is part of our former history. Yeah, well, in a lot of places it was. Let's see here. Yes, introducing the ball duel. Oh no. Yes. What are the weapons? You're going to shove your balls into a silicone sack. The first one to do it wins, and then gets to use the baldo on the loser. It's like, if you end up losing, you're just like, all right, well, I'm out. Mullen LeVay, 1371. Thank you for $10. Thank you very much. Says, sorry behind, but wasn't waiting the other guy, each other's lawyers for different things. How does that work with the privilege if the time in question is overlapping? That's an issue as well. Because if they're all working together, they're working in a firm together. Is everything they say privileged? Because obviously it's not like, hey, should we buy a copy machine? That's privileged. That's why, generally speaking, if you're working, that's generally not a good idea to do what they did. But it happens. Lawyers do it all the time. So, because it's of convenience. But yes, thank you for the super chat. It's a very good question. Very good question. Wrestler Town says Barry Lyndon has a good... Yes, it does. Barry Lyndon's a very good movie. It's a Stanley Kubrick movie, but it's very well done. Yes, you better start taking fencing classes in HEMA and then pistol shooting classes before you get sworn in. Yeah, that would be... That's fun. Oh, MF the Boat First says... dueling with 20-pound propane tanks. That would be funny. You have to swing... You have to start swinging at each other. They chain your hands to a propane tank, a filled propane tank, and you just start swinging them at each other. That would be good. That would be good. That would be so damn funny. Grimm's Bar for $2. Grim, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Louisiana's weapon of choice is a banjo. Also, I'm sorry if I'm a little stuffy today, chat. Where's the... Yes, dildos at dawn. Yes. Yeah, thank you. Oh. Louisiana's a damn high power. What? Oh. Did I catch Ricada AIDS? No. Do I got the coof? No. I just have really bad allergies. Walter Malone says, when am I going to review Chili DeCastro's new arrest video? I've seen it. It's hilarious. But I'm trying to find a copy where people aren't talking and there's like watermarks all over it. I'm trying to find the original copy of it because I really want to look at it. So, but yes, that's a new thing to go over. And God, I keep forgetting. I got to do my big Chili update because I don't think I've explained to you guys what he tried to do to me like a whole year ago and what he's done since then. But basically, all he's done since then is completely fucking lose everything because he's a retard. So, yes. KJ says the first penetration wins. Yes. Iman Rez is like, yes, you've never had satisfaction like this before. Lol. He gets the only thing you can hear over your own screaming as you're getting baldoed is, quit being a prude. You're such an incel. Stabby says I'd win every time because I have small balls. You know, that only works if you come up against somebody with smaller balls, then you're in trouble. A duel. Yeah. Oh. Oh, Darcy said he just got arrested again? I know he got arrested on Thanksgiving, but he got arrested again? Really? Is there a link to that? Because I didn't know that. Says, remember a year ago where we did the live stream? Yes, because I had Jeff and Kurt on. That was great. That was great. So, okay. So that's... this one here, I think it's... this is a very interesting case because it involves... it involves the Eagles. So there's a criminal case over the lyrics to Hotel California and a couple other Eagles songs. And this is really cool. This is really, really cool. So there's a criminal case brewing that went to trial yesterday in New York. 3 guys are accused of scheming to thwart the band's co-founder, Don Henley, of trying to reclaim illegally stolen documents. And what's at stake are like the 100 pages of drafts to songs from the album Hotel California. So it's not just the song, but it's like the whole album, like 100 pages of drafts of notes, which, I mean, think about that. Hotel California is a really good album, and that's worth a lot of money. So it involves a guy he's a rare book dealer, a guy who's one of the former Rock and Roll Hall of Fame curators, and a memorabilia seller faced charges of conspiracy to possess stolen property. And it's interesting how they got the stuff. So they deceived and manipulated efforts of Don Henley and his attorneys to try to recover the manuscripts. So the documents include the lyrics and development for Life in the Fast Lane. Great song. New Kid in Town, and obviously Hotel California. Those are among others. So what happened is this case started in 2022. And the reason why it got brought up is pages began popping up at auction for this stuff. And Don Henley got mad. And what did he do? Well, he used his money and bought back some of the documents for like $8,500, but also reported them stolen. So how did they get these? Okay, well, Kosinski and Inciardi were selling them because they had bought them from Horowitz. And he had purchased them from a writer who worked on an Eagles biography back in the 80s. Well, why is that important? Well, Don Henley's assistant had mailed along documents he wanted for the biography. And though the writer worried that Henley might conceivably be upset if these were sold, he still went ahead and sold them. And that's the thing. Don had this guy's writing a biography. Okay, cool. What can you do about it? Well, Desperado's a top tier karaoke song. It's a good song, period. So it's very interesting here to see how this works. So the guy wanted to, and I did some more reading on this. The guy's writing the biography. And Don Henley's like, hey, man, he wrote out to Don Henley, I'm writing it. Can we do a bunch of stuff? Can I get all the kind of can I get all the information you guys are willing to give me? Don Henley's like, yeah, here you go. Here's a bunch of notes, all this kind of stuff. Use it as resources to write your biography. Write your book. Well, the guy didn't he quit writing the book. So he's holding on to all this shit. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to sell it. It's not yours to sell. Somebody lets you use it because you wanted reference material to write your book. That doesn't mean you get to keep that shit. So this guy's running around selling Don Henley's papers because they're Don Henley's. Those are his personal papers and effects. And those are highly valuable. I mean, I'm not like a super, I like the Eagles. They're cool. But there's some people who pay money. I mean, he had to pay $8,500 to get his shit back in the one situation. So a lot of people wanted it. The Eagles are better than the Eagles. Yes. And they're still light years better than the Regals. Glenn Fry is better than Don Henley. Yeah. Balder's saying, yeah, you don't know it, you can't sell it. And that's true. And there's a saying you learn in law school, especially in property class, a thief can't pass better title than which he already has. Which means a thief has no title, which means he can't pass title on. Grim says, if you buy back your own property and report it stolen, are you technically breaking the law for knowing and receiving stolen material? Well, he bought back some of it because bits and pieces were showing up, but not the whole thing, it sounds like. From what I can tell, not all of it was sold, so parts were being held on to. But no, at that point, you can say, hey, look, I had to buy my own crap. Like, let's say somebody stole all your shit, and you went to the pawn shop and you found it all. But the pawn shop says, oh, it's legitimate here, so you paid the pawn shop like a bunch of money to get your crap back. You go to the police and say, hey, this crap was all stolen from me and I had to go pay like $10,000 to get it out. Well, the value of it's $10,000. They'll go try to find that guy and arrest him. So Balder's saying part of it, why it has to come with a trace of origin and all of that when purchasing. Yes, but that trace of origin is, when it comes to stuff like this, it's just like any kind of memorabilia or even just, this is art. It's provenance. It's the hereditary chain, the thing it's the pedigree. Are these really Don Henley's papers? How do you know? Well, I bought them from the guy who was writing a biography in the 80s. Like, people are going to be able to vouch for how legit they are. So that is a very common thing there. Das Boot says, isn't this well past the statute of limitations? No, I mean, typically, these guys started doing this back in 2005. Okay. But it sounds like Don Henley, until recently, didn't know this was happening. So according to the indictment, so I'm assuming Yeah, so because look, here's the issue. So at some point, it sounds like basically in 2022 is when Don Henley noticed shit was popping up online and he was buying it back. So, but these guys had been doing it for a while, but he only caught on they were doing it recently. Also, remember, there is a decent statute of limitations for felonies could be a couple of years. Like in Ohio, a basic felony, like for example, forgery or trafficking in drugs, there's a 6-year statute of limitations. And then obviously you have like sex crimes where it's going to be like, up after the age of 18, when, at that point, then it's so many years. And some of those might be even longer. And then you have like murders and homicides, which don't ever go away. So it could be a lot of time there. Don just needs to take it easy. Yeah. Those guys as assholes in prison will be living in the fast lane. Yes, the crime is still in progress if the sale has happened. Yes. So it's gonna be, yeah. And you're right, Balder, but I think that it's probably there's been an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing conspiracy. They kept on trying to figure out ways to get it. They even hatched a plan here to talk about they found them. These were all found at Glenn Fry's. We found him on Glenn when he died. So we have him now. Although Glenn's estate would say, well, why the fuck can't that? The funny thing is they tried to make this argument. Glenn's estate's going to say, no. Those are ours. Give them to us if they're Glenn's. So that's the funny thing about that. This idea they could get, oh no, see, we found them. They were abandoned. That is a term of art. Finding abandoned property. That is a very, that's not easy to do. Like that's, especially when it comes to like highly prized documents like that nobody probably would abandon. You'd have to prove it, and you'd probably end up proving it under shady circumstances because it's not going to work well. He didn't know until 2016. Okay, so it sounds like in 2016 he told police, and the police started working on it. Limits vary on factors more than just the date of the theft, to put it another way. I agree. But for the basic understanding of things, it's generally when you commit the crime, that's when the statute starts running. So, yeah, Glenn's dead, yes. So, all she wants to do is dance. Oh, okay, you guys, boo. All right, chat, that is it. Hold on here. Let me see. What else did we get? Did I get to everything I wanted? Hold on here. Hold on. I got to double check. Come on, pull up, YouTube. Really funny. You hear that a lot. Oh, no, I did not. One more thing. Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie. So if you guys remember Gabby Petito, she was the YouTuber, doing the van stuff. Gabby Petito got murdered by by Brian Laundrie, and there are the issues of, Brian just shows back at home in Florida. Gabby's like, I don't know, I think she's in the desert somewhere. She didn't come back. Well, there was a settlement that was reached because after a while, when Brian made it home, Gabby's parents were trying to speak to Brian's family, saying, what happened? Those parents, we got to go over the deposition at some point, and it's not flattering to the Laundrie family. And you know what? We'll do that this weekend. We'll do it as a members only. How about that? I'll do it as members only. If you're a member, you're going to get to read the Brian Laundrie's dad's deposition with me. We'll do that at some point this weekend. I'll put it up there for the members here on YouTube. So become a member. You'll get to see it. How about that? How about that, chat? Cash me outside with that one. Try to run my fade. So they've reached a settlement, though. Brian Laundrie's parents and Gabby's parents have reached a settlement. So they reached a settlement to avoid going to trial that was coming up. I still think ultimately, I don't think the parents like. It's not flattering, but I still think this is a bullshit case. So the Laundrie's parents, Steve Bertolino, who's the same attorney that's been involved in all this from the start, said the terms of the resolution are confidential, and we look forward to putting this matter behind us. So the settlement, if there was no settlement, the case is going to trial in May. And yes, in the depositions, they acknowledged that their son told him she was gone. And like, well, what does gone mean? I don't know. I didn't ask. Really, at that point, you shouldn't say shit anymore. But and that he would need a lawyer and a frantic phone call. So, and this is a little bit sensationalized here. Chris and Roberta Laundrie denied by being told by their son that he killed Gabby, though Roberta said the thought probably went through my mind. So, yeah. So, but this isn't the only lawsuit. So they filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Brian's estate, which wasn't worth anything. So they got a $3 million judgment. So, but yes. Anyways, Brian's parents and their attorney were all sued because they caused severe emotional distress. It's like, how did they not know she was fucking dead? Come on. Like, what do you think was going on out there in the woods? Like, she dead, man. She dead. Like, you had to know she's dead. Sky Queen, did I see about the cop texting? Yes. That's going to be for tomorrow. Like I said, we got some stuff we could talk about tomorrow. There's a bunch of funny stuff. I mean, it's not like, oh my god, ha ha, funny, but it's humorous. It's humorous. We can have some fun with it. A couple of different things out there. So we'll do that tomorrow night. Probably the late night spot. Because we'll have to watch up Hannah Reid. Yeah. So that'll be the plan for tomorrow. Then, like I said, I'm going to be busy this weekend. Holy cow, I'm going to be like all over the place. Oh, is there a spammer out here in Rumbleland? Do I need to get rid of this guy? Hold on here. Oh, well, there we go. He's out. Looks like he was spamming it, so. Guys, well, we're going to do some other stuff for locals, but I wanted to make some stuff for members, and I promised the members I'd start making them things, so that's what we're doing here. So, did this not show up? Okay. Yes, Scott, there's a story a police officer was driving. He just arrested somebody, his first arrest. He was like texting, he's like, oh my God, I arrested someone. And then the car never made it back to the jail recently. And they were looking for it. And he drove off the road into the river, drowned himself and the lady in the backseat who just got arrested. Oh boy. So yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a good look there. But yes, as things were set up though, the Petitos are seeking damages in excess of $30,000, and they claim the Laundries not only knew their son had killed Petito, but also knew the location of the body. Which, come on, like, I just thought they'd find it. It's like your daughter, like the moment it happened, your daughter's out in the getting humped by coyotes. Come on now. So, but this is where they really went after the Laundries, because they said they released a statement through their attorney that said, we hope the search is successful. Well, if they knew that she was already dead, why would they say that? And it's like, you let us on. It's like, they shouldn't have said anything. But I'm sure if they didn't say anything, they'd be still screaming and crying about it. So, Yeah, so that has been resolved, and like I said, we will do the deposition review for here on YouTube, the members. The prisoner died too? Yes, they both drowned. So, yes, the most astroturf true crime story in years. Yes. Yes. So, all right, guys, that is it for tonight. We are all done. We are going to head over to Locals. 300 people here. Guys, you've been here the whole time. Thanks for sticking around the whole time. I appreciate it. So, yeah, thank you to everybody on Kick, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, the Book of Faces, Locals, but also everybody here on YouTube. Guys, I appreciate all the comments, all the support. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody for the super chats. I truly appreciate all of those. Want to make sure I got Walter Malone's. Yep, I got all these. Okay, good. I got to make sure I got them all. This one, yeah, okay. Yep, they're all done. Okay. So, hold on. And yeah, we're going to do the Clyde. Clyde will come on for Locals. I got to go grab him. So, thank you again to everybody. And remember, until next time, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Good night, everybody.